earlier today a Mexican naval vessel called the Cuauhtémoc.
Don't worry, Rich. You should hear me try to pronounce anime characters' names. It's hilarious. What's up, everybody? Celtic Scarecrow here, reacting to another video to get those 10s and 20 views. As you see, we brought back the picture I stole from Veteran of the Design, aka Zachary Bell. I stand with Angry Cops because, as of day of recording, I want to say, as of time of recording, let's go with that. As time
Nick unfolds the binder.
The Unsubscribed Podcast, episode 214, which will be linked in the description, just came out 4 hours ago. So it's even more damning evidence of everything that, Angry Cop exposed. We stand with Angry Cops. I have probably one of the shirts floating around here. Hold on a second. Nope. I had a Fat Electrician shirt. Angry Cop shirt is somewhere else. We stand with Angry Cops and all that stuff. Yeah, all that, everything coming out. And he has a new video that came out as recording 5 hours ago. So this is going to come out on Wednesday. This video gets, let's just say, basing it off of, the average video of this channel. Let's go with 50 views. And, basing off of one Fat Electrician video. 50 views, I will buy the Bad Bitch mug and t-shirt off of Bunker Branding. And wear it first stream. Not first stream, reaction. Because we support Angry Cops and everything Angry Cops does. But yeah, so today we're reacting to a short video from AC called Historical Mexican Ship Crashes into Brooklyn Bridge. I'm also doing this to give, the FNAP video that came out Monday. I want to see if that does pretty well. If so, I'll continue reacting to more of the FNAP lore videos. Maybe do a different lore video. See how those videos kind of do. And break it up. But that being said, let's get over here. And let's get to it. Also, if things go a certain way, we might actually get DNN. I think it'll be Channel 2 News in Buffalo. Just saying. Oh, hold on. Bang.
This is DNN, Donut News Network. I'm your host, AC, and today's top story is a Mexican sailing ship has crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge. And
outsider looking in. Granted, it happened to New York, and as someone who lives in New Jersey. But enough said. Don't we have the height of the Brooklyn Bridge documented so we can be like, hey, ships over a certain height, you're not going to fit. That's the first thing I
on scene is our infield correspondent, AC. AC, are you there? Yes, AC, while watching...
God, if I would have gladly drove up to New York on one of my 2 days off and just said whatever Angry Cops would have wanted me to, right outside the Brooklyn Bridge.
Mexican swim to American soil may be commonplace at the southern border. It is a sight to behold here in New York City. Because earlier today, a Mexican naval vessel called the Cuauhtémoc.
Don't worry, Rich. You should hear me try to pronounce anime characters' names. It's hilarious.
Because a Spanish ship crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge. And what was the ship's purpose for docking in New York City? Well, officially, it was on a goodwill tour to many nations, and its next stop was Iceland. But by the way the ship's captain was steering that vessel, I feel like this was more of a cruise to distribute more Mexican fentanyl to American cities. And
Yeah, there's some reports like that the ship sped up.
you can bet we'll be tracking the uptick in overdose deaths as the Cuauhtémoc visits many more nations and cities. And is there any word from New York City's Mayor
Why do you put up a chili?
Adams or the New York City Police Department? Borders Our Tom Homan has stopped by to say that he will deport all of their Mexican asses, regardless of if they were on the ship or not. Well, that sounded mildly.
I hate saying this. I almost wish right there, Angry Cops used Eddie VR as like a little photo there. Because Eddie just got his citizenship. Congratulations, Eddie. You know, doing it the right way, kind of.
Racist. My God, if my old team sergeant could have been here, he'd have been in heaven. Raining tortas! Not talking about the sandwiches, talking about thick Latinas! Ugh, I do not feel like you should have said that. Did anybody else find it ironic that they're dangling from this thing like a piñata? DNN will be back after a quick commercial break. Have you ever wondered how scammers get your phone number or why your inbox is filled with spam?
No, because my shit. I do get text spam, but.
Well, because there are companies out there called data brokers that buy and sell your personal data. And they're selling it to hackers, businesses, governments. And although they have to remove your information
Is this like the old school Windows 98 background here, AC?
when you ask, they make it complicated. But not with Aura, because they take care of the hard part and automatically have your information removed from...
Oh, is this? What is this? Look at this. Look at this. You have the fat electrician who's always putting up delete me, and now AC's putting up Aura. Huh.
those sites. And they keep it off. Aura is all-in-one digital security. Now you might already have some components of security, but Aura's got it all. There's no point in locking the front door if the back door's wide open. Let Aura guard your back door. Get alerts when your information's on the dark web, and real-time alerts for credit and banking. 24/7 monitoring to keep your identity secure. With a secure VPN, antivirus, and password manager, plus more, Aura has US-based support. Available around the clock if something ever goes wrong. Try Aura for 14 days for free at aura.com/angrycops in the link and the description below. And in those 2 weeks, you'll discover just how much of your data is being exposed. Once again, that's aura.com/angrycops for your 14-day free trial. I'm not leaving myself vulnerable, and you shouldn't either. And we're back.
Oh yeah, AZ, Fat Electrician, all those guys get, yeah, their ad reads go on without me really, unless I'm joking about like the, well, two friends having different, delete me-ish type companies. Yeah, they don't complain about reactors. I'm not going to complain about them getting free ad reads.
With a word from our producer stating that we can no longer make any more racial off-color comments. AC,
You should have hired Eddie VR or, you know, Eli.
can you fill us in on what's going on? The moment that ship touched U.S. waters, this Texas Ranger has been on the job. Sir, would you like to introduce yourself? Well, of course. I'm Ranger Rick. Texas Ranger.
God, like I said, Eddie VR or Eli would have been hilarious here.
And it is a shame what these people have done to that beautiful piece of historic architecture, the Brooklyn Bridge. Now, you've said off camera that you've had experience with scenarios just like this. Oh yeah, I've responded to hundreds, if not thousands of incidents
I always wish he shaved everything but the mustache. It would have been funnier.
where the citizens of Mexico have crashed recklessly into a whole bunch of things in the United States. Usually it is, however, with an automobile. And are there any similarities between those accidents and the shipwreck that we see here today? Oh, yeah. First thing I noticed was that ship right there, all right, it has no registration. Okay, and if it's got no registration, you can bet they're driving without insurance. And when I brought up insurance, all right, just the word, they threw their hands up and said, no habla inglés. Par for the course. And to get the trifecta, once I asked the captain for his license suspended, and before I even got to the captain's quarters,
I wonder how much this is actually real, or is this how much AC is just being a ball buster.
I swear I saw a half dozen members of the crew just kicking Tecate bottles and Modelo's off the side of the deck, looking at me like I wasn't watching them do it. Wow. I don't know what to say to that. No need to thank me. I did single-handedly rustle up all of the crew that had gone overboard, so they are all accounted for. And I'm sure everybody was grateful for that. Yeah, well, no, but yeah, it did take longer than expected, but that was because I kept accidentally grabbing some Puerto Ricans that were there on the pier and mistaking them for Mexicans. Well, I'm sure they...
Oh, you don't do that. Don't say that. That is something I know. You know, you do not mistaken people for more than they're not supposed to be, especially the Latinos.
Didn't appreciate that. Well, ain't my fault you can't tell the difference between them, and that they think there's a difference. Oh my God, AC back to...
Yep, that's gonna get you in a lot of trouble. Like I said, I have co-workers that are Puerto Rican, and if you call him Mexican, he is gonna be like, no.
You. Go home. Well, that's all that we have tonight. Thank you for tuning into DNN, and remember, we'll see you next time, weirdos.
Oh God, yeah, this isn't gonna help with your potential future legal issues, Rich.
AC, we do have the captain here. Hola. See me, Capitan. Sir, would you say
Again, Eddie VR would have been hilarious.
that your crew has gotten a taste of reality when it comes to the seriousness of this situation?
Dos.
Yes, a dose of reality. Thank you.
No, dos. Two. Two people die.
God, you know, it's a serious situation, but you gotta be able to make fun of it. Because, like I said, how do you not know that, hey, our ship is X amount of feet tall, that bridge is only going to allow X amount of coverage. Mistakes were made on all sides. But that's it. That's all I have. Go check me out on Twitch, where I have YouTube video games. A lot of Borderlands right now, because Borderlands is kind of fun. The guy's saying that it's going to be like $80 for the next game, which I ain't paying. Go check out the main channel where I should be finishing up the NFL mock drafts videos. And, of course, come here. Check out the reactions. That's it. That's all I have. See you weird people later.